After emerging from the system space, Lin Jing reappeared on the island. Yi Yun and Yin Xiong had long since departed. The Moon Demon sect leader had fled, and the remnant soul had died under the system space's rules. Lin Jing looked up, glanced around. The island was as peaceful as ever, with no one passing by. Then, Lin Jing looked in the direction where the Moon Demon sect leader had fled, hesitating for a moment. After hesitating, Lin Jing seemed to make up his mind, took a step forward, and pursued in the direction the Moon Demon sect leader had left. The Moon Demon sect leader, now without the great dream ancient mirror, posed much less of a threat and was truly no match for Lin Jing. If possible, Lin Jing naturally wanted to kill him at this time. Otherwise, keeping him alive would inevitably lead to trouble. Moreover, he knew about the Enlightenment bead and would undoubtedly make another move against Wei Qingqing and Wei Siyue. Better to solve the issue now and reduce future troubles. From the time the Moon Demon sect leader escaped to when Lin Jing made up his mind to give chase. The time in between was, in fact, not too long. The traces of his flight had not even dissipated. Lin Jing extended his divine sense, feeling for the remnants of the Moon Demon sect leader's aura left behind as he fled and followed in that direction. Half a quarter of an hour passed with Lin Jing in pursuit when he suddenly stopped, his brows involuntarily knitting together, because at this point, he discovered that the aura of the Moon Demon sect leader had suddenly vanished. Lin Jing immediately expanded his divine sense and searched a wider area. However, despite scouring the nearby sea, Lin Jing still failed to pick up on the Moon Demon sect leader's presence. This situation was highly probable if he had concealed his own aura or used some form of instant translocation talisman to leave the area. The Moon Demon sect leader's resolute action must have been due to his concern over the remnant soul. Otherwise, he wouldn't have left behind the great dream ancient mirror so decisively and fled. Subsequently, Lin Jing searched the vicinity for a while longer, but to no avail. The Moon Demon sect leader had likely already made good his escape. Since Lin Jing couldn't find the Moon Demon sect leader, there was no further need for him to stay there. Then, Lin Jing shifted his direction and flew towards Beihai City. Without a flying boat, it still took Lin Jing the better part of the day to cover the distance from the island back to Beihai City at his flying speed. Upon returning to Beihai City, Lin Jing did not linger but went straight to the small courtyard where Wei Qingqing resided. Inside the courtyard, everyone except Wei Qingqing was present. As soon as Lin Jing returned, they came forward to greet him. "Master, Uncle Lin, brother." They greeted Lin Jing in turn. Yin Xiong was also present, but with a strange look on his face, seemingly incredulous, as he carefully scrutinized Lin Jing before speaking. "Brother Lin." Lin Jing then waved his hand and reverted to his original appearance, smiling at Yin Xiong. "Big Bear, long time no see." Yin Xiong immediately became excited. "I can't believe it's really you. When they first told me, I was somewhat skeptical. After all, that was a genuine nascent soul true monarch. Who would have thought that after so many years, you would have become one yourself? It feels so surreal." While speaking, Yin Xiong even pinched his own arm. "Ouch, it hurts." "It's definitely real." Facing this behavior from Yin Xiong, Lin Jing could only offer a helpless smile. Yin Xiong was actually similar to Yin Wanfei, straightforward and without any craftiness, and would say outright whatever was on his mind. Lin Jing, of course, was no longer surprised by it. At this point, Yin Xiong looked resentfully at Lin Jing. "You really duped me back then." Lin Jing smiled helplessly, then spoke. "The situation then limited me, so I hid my identity." Yin Xiong nodded and then said, "Understandable, understandable. By the way, what about the Moon Demon sect leader? With such high cultivation and the great dream ancient mirror in hand, how did you escape from him?" After speaking, Yin Xiong looked at Lin Jing with curiosity, waiting for his answer. Yi Yun and the other two also looked at Lin Jing to hear how he escaped from the Moon Demon sect leader after they had left. Lin Jing faced them and then said, That moon demon sect leader was previously controlled by the remnant soul inside the great dream ancient mirror, which is why he attacked us. Later, during our fight, he came to his senses, dropped the great dream ancient mirror, and fled on his own. After Lin Jing finished, a voice came from a bedroom inside the house. The moon demon sect leader has fled. As the voice fell, Wei Qingqing also emerged from the bedroom. Seeing Wei Qingqing come out, Wei Siyue quickly ran over, her face beaming as she looked up at him. "Father, are you healed?" Wei Qingqing now had a healthy complexion, appeared to be in good spirits, and his cultivation aura had returned to normal. He was no longer feeble as before. Wei Qingqing smiled, patted Wei Siyue's head, and then said, "Yes, I've completely recovered. Having long been tormented by demonic qi, even the usually composed Wei Qingqing was incredibly relieved." Wei Qingqing walked over, bowed, and thanked Lin Jing. "Thank you, Brother Lin. If it weren't for you, I fear I might have entered the Yellow Springs by now." Lin Jing quickly helped Wei Qingqing up, then spoke. "Brother Wei, you are really too polite." Wei Qingqing shook his head, saying, "To me, Brother Lin, you are a lifesaver, truly deserving of such a grand gesture. Besides, I've thought it through. Now that I've recovered, once CU grows up, I will remove the enlightenment elixir from her body and give it to Brother Lin. Brother Lin is now a nascent soul, true monarch, not far from divinity transformation, and in need of the enlightenment elixir." After hearing this, Lin Jing was immediately startled. "Brother Wei, this really shouldn't be done. Wouldn't CU be in danger if the enlightenment elixir is removed?" Wei Qingqing shook his head, then spoke. "No, it won't be like that. Once CU has grown up and reached a certain level of cultivation, the enlightenment elixir, after its nurturing period within CU's body, will separate from her. Only then can we remove the enlightenment elixir without harming CU. However, this process will take some time. I estimate at least several decades, or even 100 years. When the time comes to remove the enlightenment elixir, I will give it to Brother Lin. Decades, or even 100 years." Lin Jing estimated that by that time, he would have already reached divinity transformation, and the enlightenment elixir would be of no use to him. However, he couldn't clarify this with Wei Qingqing, as it involved many secrets about himself. Lin Jing then spoke to Wei Qingqing. "The matter of enlightenment elixir is not urgent. After all, it's still early. When the time comes to remove the elixir, we'll discuss it then. As for the present, Brother Wei, what are your plans? Now that the demonic qi within you has been removed, do you plan to return to Nanming Domain, or continue staying in Beihai City?" Wei Qingqing pondered for a moment, then spoke. "Nanming Domain. I had thought about returning, but for some reason." Wei Qingqing seemed hesitant and undecided. Lin Jing then spoke again, reminding, "Brother Wei, the Moon Demon sect leader has escaped. He knows about the existence of the enlightenment elixir and will surely try to trouble you again. We are preparing to return to Nanming Domain, and my suggestion is that you take this opportunity to go back with us. For one, it's to take a look, and secondly, to avoid the Moon Demon sect leader." At this point, Nanshan came over, saying, "That's right, old Wei. Brother Lin's words make sense. Your injuries have healed, and it's no longer suitable for us to stay here. The Moon Demon sect leader could find us at any moment. This place is really not safe." After Nanshan finished speaking, Wei Qingqing looked down at CU, thought for a moment, and then directly said, "All right, we will go back to Nanming Domain together." Having made the decision to return, Wei Qingqing no longer hesitated and began to prepare. Lin Ju and Yin also had to say their farewells to Uncle Lin. Just like that. It wasn't until the afternoon that everyone had finished their preparations. Yin and Lin Ju, having said goodbye to Uncle Lin, returned to the courtyard. Afterward, the group left the courtyard and headed towards the teleportation array in the center of Beihai City. Although it wasn't the first time walking on the main streets of Beihai City, Wei Siyue was still very excited, especially since Wei Qingqing had fully recovered and was no longer troubled by the demonic qi. It lifted the gloom that had been weighing on Wei Siyue's heart, and now had dispersed. Her heart was bubbling with joy, holding Wei Qingqing's hand, looking here and there, and talking nonstop to Wei Qingqing. "Daddy, this is the Seven Seas Hall. Uncle Lin took me on a visit there. It's so beautiful. Daddy, did you see the welcoming Immortal's residence? Uncle Lin took me to eat there. The food is really delicious. And there's more. The Longyun Elixir Pavilion." Wei Qingqing, on the other hand, patiently responded to each remark, his eyes filled with tenderness when he looked at Wei Siue. Soon, the group arrived at the square where the cross-realm transmission formation was located. The square was bustling at the moment. Many cultivators gathered on this square, and they were here not to take the teleportation array. After all, the price of 100 superior grade spirit stones was quite painful for many cultivators. Not to mention the cultivators in the square. Most of these cultivators were of lower rank, and even golden core cultivators were scarce. Many of them couldn't even come up with the 100 superior grade spirit stones required for the teleportation fee. These lower-ranked cultivators were gathered here, naturally, to earn spirit stones. The activation of the cross-realm transmission formation provided some the possibility to leave the southern outer sea, but it also brought many business opportunities. And the purpose of most people in the square was also for this. Even on one side of the square, there was a small fawn market where many cultivators would set up stalls to sell some rare treasures unique to the sea. Some are even selling maps of the Nanming domain and the Western Demon region right here in the square, which were extremely useful for those cultivators traveling to the other two domains for the first time. When these people saw that Lin Jing and his companion's destination was the teleportation array in the center, they immediately sprang into action. "Senior, excuse me, esteemed seniors, are you planning to go to the Nanming domain? I have maps of the Nanming domain, as well as manuals of various power distributions. May I ask if seniors need them?" "Senior, I have them too, and mine are even more detailed. I even have maps of the demon race secret realms." "Fellow Taoist, please wait a moment." The speaker was a golden core cultivator. "I am from the Extreme Origin Commerce Association. Our Extreme Origin Commerce Association has a certain influence in the Nanming domain. If Taoist friends are going to the Nanming domain for business, our Extreme Origin Commerce Association can also help out." At that moment, possibly annoyed by the pestering, Yin Xiong directly spoke to those people. No need. We are going home. We don't need maps, nor do we have anything to be done." Yin Xiong's words caused those people to immediately quiet down. "Senior, my apologies. Fellow Taoist, sorry for the disturbance." These people didn't entangle any further and left after speaking. After these people left, Lin Jing and his companions also successfully made their way to the teleportation array platform. This teleportation array platform was in the center of the square, covering an area of several hundred square meters. The platform was covered with dense white formation patterns, emitting a dazzling light. And the whole platform was guarded. At the entrance to the platform sat two elderly men with white hair. One of them was at the Golden Core late stage, and the other one was at the Nascent Soul late stage. Lin Jing and his comrades walked straight over. Upon seeing Lin Jing and his companions approach, the Golden Core late stage elder looked up at them. "Are you fellow Taoists planning to use the teleportation array?" Lin Jing nodded and then spoke. "Yes. How many of you are there?" The other Nascent Soul late stage elder asked without looking up. 6 people, plus 1 beast companion," Lin Jing replied. Only then did the Nascent Soul late stage elder raise his head and glance over Lin Jing and his companions. After a quick scan, the elder withdrew his gaze and said directly, "A beast companion at the Golden Core stage is almost no different from a cultivator, counted as one person. 7 in total, 700 superior grade spirit stones." Upon hearing this, Yin Xiong couldn't help but click his tongue. Goodness, 700 superior grade spirit stones, if exchanged for medium grade spirit stones, would almost be close to 100,000. After Yin Xiong finished speaking, the Nascent Soul late stage elder glanced at him and spoke in a cold voice. "Are you taking it or not?" Just as the elder finished speaking, A snicker came from behind Lin Jing and the others. Exactly. You want to take the teleportation array without money? After Lin Jing and his group arrived, 3 more people ascended the platform intending to use the teleportation array. However, these 3 people seemed fairly young, yet their cultivation had already reached the golden core stage. It appeared that the forces behind them must be extraordinary. At that moment, the one standing in the lead among the 3, a young cultivator dressed in black robes, respectfully saluted the nascent soul late-stage cultivator. Uncle Qin, we are here on the orders of our sect to take care of some business in the Nanming domain. When the nascent soul late-stage elder saw them, his expression immediately softened. It's Mo Liming, right? I heard your elder brother is planning to propose to Jie of the Xinglaw elixir sect, intending to become Dao companions with her. Is that right? Yes, Elder Qin. 2 days ago, my father, he personally took the betrothal gifts and went to Xinglaw elixir sect to propose a marriage alliance. I suppose it won't be long before the news spreads. The nascent soul late-stage elder nodded his head upon hearing this, then spoke. Your brother has extraordinary talent. He is the #1 genius disciple of our Yuling Dao sect. Moreover, he recently passed the spirit controlling trial, becoming an elder of our Yuling Dao sect, to form a Daoist couple with Jie, which is indeed a match made in heaven. Furthermore, your father, as the vice sect master of our Yuling Dao sect, personally went to propose the match, which is giving great face to Xinglaw elixir sect. It won't be long before our sect and Xinglaw elixir sect will soon celebrate a joyful occasion. The youth in the black robe responded with a smile. Elder Qin speaks truly. The nascent soul late-stage elder nodded, then said, Since you are here on sex business, we shouldn't delay you. Come over here then. Yes, elder. The youth in the black robe responded with a salute to the nascent soul late-stage elder. After the nascent soul late-stage elder had spoken, he turned his gaze directly towards Lin Jing and others, and then said outright, You few, step aside. From the earlier conversation between the two, Lin Jing had already learned that they were disciples of the Yuling Dao sect. The elder guarding this teleportation array was a nascent soul late-stage elder of the Yuling Dao sect. As one of the 2 major sects in the Western Demon region, the Yuling Dao sect possessed incredible strength. The sect had numerous body condensation cultivators stationed within, and not just one. Even more terrifying Dao integration stage cultivators were likely to exist. A sect of such caliber was not one that Lin Jing and his company could afford to provoke. Moreover, this teleportation array was built by the Yuling Dao sect and Xinglaw elixir sect jointly, and their disciples had the privilege of priority teleportation, which was common knowledge. Although Lin Jing and his companions felt somewhat uncomfortable, they didn't say anything. Instead, they stepped aside and allowed the 3 Yuling Dao sect disciples to go ahead with their teleportation. The 3 Yuling Dao sect disciples were arrogant as they walked past Lin Jing and his group. As they passed by, one even looked at Lin Jing's group with smugness in his eyes. However, when a youth in a black robe looked at Lin Jing's shoulder, he suddenly froze. Then his eyes widened in surprise as he gazed at Little Sparrow. After a while, the young man in the black robe, breathing rapidly, cried out excitedly, A spiritual beast. It's a genuine spiritual beast. Its spiritual intelligence has awakened. Hearing the words of the youth in the black robe, the 2 young men who were with him, as well as the 2 elders guarding the teleportation array, all turned to look at Lin Jing. Especially the nascent soul elder. His eyes shone brightly as he scrutinized Little Sparrow on Lin Jing's shoulder very carefully. Feeling uncomfortable under their gazes, Little Sparrow hurriedly snuggled further in, nearly pressing against Lin Jing's face. Seeing them staring blatantly at Little Sparrow, Lin Jing also frowned. This spiritual beast, is it yours? After carefully observing Little Sparrow for a moment, the nascent soul late-stage elder quickly asked Lin Jing. Lin Jing, with a frown, replied, Naturally, it is mine. Seeing Lin Jing's unfriendly demeanor, the youth in the black robe scolded him sharply. How do you speak? This is Elder Qin of our Yuling Dao sect. To speak with you is your good fortune. What kind of attitude is this? No matter. Elder Qin raised his hand, stopping the youth in the black robe, then spoke directly to Lin Jing. I really like the demonic beast on your shoulder. So, I'll trade you a golden feathered eagle at the golden core stage for your beast companion. How about it? You must have heard of the golden feathered eagle. It can be used both in combat and for carrying people in flight. It's much better than this black kite of yours, so you won't be at a disadvantage. Upon hearing the Yuling Dao sect Elder Qin's words, Little Sparrow seemed even more frightened, immediately leaving Lin Jing's shoulder and burrowing into Lin Ju's arms behind him. Lin Jing ignored Little Sparrow and with a frown said, "This black kite is not my beast companion. I will not trade it." Lin Jing's words made the youth in the black robe immediately unhappy. Elder Qin has offered you such favorable terms, yet you refuse to trade your black kite. Could it be that you are being unappreciative? Upon hearing these words, Lin Jing's expression immediately turned cold. But before Lin Jing could speak again, Lin Ju, who couldn't stand it any longer, spoke up sharply to the youth in the black robe. Little Sparrow is our family member. Why should we trade it just because you say so? Are you implying that the Yuling Dao sect will bully us with their power? Lin Ju was outspoken, and naturally, Yian wasn't willing to be outdone. Although he was not good with words, his actions usually spoke for him. As Lin Ju spoke up, rebuking the youth in the black robe, Yian took a step forward, positioning himself in front of Lin Ju. He watched the opposite group warily. Even Wei Zhongqing and Yin Xiong, both keenly aware of the danger, promptly shielded Wei Siyue behind them. Knowing full well the might of the Yuling Dao sect, every one of them prepared for a possible fight. And so, Lin Jing's group faced off against the people from the Yuling Dao sect. The square was crowded with cultivators, and the operations of the teleportation array always drew attention. When a conflict arose between Lin Jing's party and the Yuling Dao sect elder in charge of the teleportation array, even more eyes turned in their direction. Many didn't understand what had happened to provoke a dispute between the two parties. At the same time, there were some restless individuals whose gazes towards Lin Jing and his companions were filled with admiration. To dare confront individuals from Yuling Dao sect, it was indeed the first occurrence since the establishment of the teleportation array. When Elder Qin of the Yuling Dao sect heard Lin Jing's clear refusal, he did not get angry, but furrowed his brow as he looked at Little Sparrow. Such a fine spiritual beast wasted, following you lot, who have no clue how to handle a beast and only squander this black kite's talents. How about this? Although our Yuling Dao sect is powerful, we will not bully you. Whatever you want, just say it, and as long as it's not too outrageous, I will fulfill your request. The young man in the profound robe exclaimed in surprise. Uncle Master Qin, isn't this being too generous to them? What if they take advantage of this and ask for the sky? But Elder Qin spoke openly, without any regard for secrecy. Don't worry, it's just a golden core beast companion. Even if it's precious, it can't be that valuable. Our Yuling Dao sect is not afraid of them demanding an exorbitant price. After finishing, Elder Qin raised his eyes and said to the group, "Name your price. I want this spiritual beast." And to the side, another golden core late-stage cultivator who had been silent all this time frowned and spoke. "Elder Qin, they've already said they won't sell. Isn't this a bit too much?" Elder Qin of the Yuling Dao sect glanced at the golden core late-stage cultivator after hearing his words, and then explained. "Elder son, you spend most of your time in Xinglaw elixir sect making elixirs and rarely come down the mountain. You probably don't know that cultivators in the demonic monster sea are quite complex, with all kinds of cultivators, demon cultivators. The resources in this place are scarce, and for the sake of cultivation, they can give up anything. Right now, they don't want to deal with me because they think my offer is not enough. They just want more. Have you not thought about how much a black kite can be worth in spirit stones? So I'll let them name their price." After hearing this, the golden core late-stage cultivator slightly knitted his brows. Although he knew what Elder Qin said was not right, he didn't find it appropriate to contradict him. After all, his own cultivation was only at the Golden Core late stage, and even though he was also an elder, he was usually just in charge of managing affairs for the outer disciples of the Xinghua elixir sect. This was only because another elder had temporary matters to attend to, allowing him to temporarily stand in for him. On the other hand, Elder Qin was an inner door elder of the Yuling Dao sect, and moreover, Elder Qin was at the nascent soul late stage, his cultivation far surpassing his own. His earlier remark was only because he found it somewhat hard to watch, prompting him to remind the other. Also, there's always been a good relationship between Xinghua elixir sect and Yuling Dao sect as brother sects. It was precisely because of their close relations that they could stand firm in the western demon region where demon cultivators abounded. If he were to start a conflict with Elder Qin over Lin Jing and his companions, it wouldn't just be disadvantageous to himself, but merely the accusation of harming the friendship between the two sects could be unbearable for him. Seeing that the Golden Core late-stage elder fell silent, Elder Qin turned his head once again to Lin Jing and said, "So have you thought it through? What exactly do you want?" No sooner had Elder Qin spoken than the young man in the profound robe impatiently spoke up. "What do you want? Just say it quickly." However, right as the young man in the profound robe finished speaking, a voice came from the square. "Mo Liming, you really are impressive, aren't you? What now? Relying on your brother's fame again to bully others here in Bihai City?" The complexion of a young man in the profound robe, Mo Liming, darkened at these words, and he turned his head to look at the crowd in the square. He saw a youth dressed lavishly, with a mocking smile curling his lips, walking towards the teleportation array platform. Upon seeing the newcomer, the expression of Mo Liming, who was previously sullen, suddenly changed, and he became all smiles. "Who do I see here? If it isn't Master Ji Ling." "Master Ji, it's been a while. How have you been?" The newcomer was indeed Ji Ling. Upon hearing this, Ji Ling's brows furrowed, and he looked at Mo Liming and said, "I'm asking you, Mo Liming, are you okay? Normally, you're not like this. Why are you so agreeable today?" Mo Liming replied with a smile, "Of course. After this, we shall be in-laws. How could I possibly treat you as I did before?" "In-laws?" Ji Ling was taken aback. Then his face filled with confusion. As he looked towards Mo Liming, from the corner of his eye, he glimpsed several somewhat familiar figures. Ji Ling quickly turned his head to look at those figures. Once Ji Ling saw the figures clearly, he first froze, then exclaimed, "Senior Lin, how come you are here?" Speaking, Ji Ling hurried to the teleportation array platform, then began, "Senior Lin, my aunt has been looking for you, and to think you would be here." Ji Ling's words stunned Mo Liming, who then turned his head and scrutinized Lin Jing's group carefully. "Senior, this title carries many meanings. It could refer to someone older or someone who surpasses oneself in certain aspects, with greater prowess and deeper experience. In the cultivation world, it generally refers to someone who is at least one major realm above oneself. Those of the same realm may be called Daoyu. One major realm higher, and one may be addressed as senior. Ji Ling himself was at the mid-stage of Golden Core, and so those he calls senior would at least possess the cultivation of a nascent soul stage. He looked at Lin Jing's group, and aside from the young girl at the end, the rest were all clearly Golden Core cultivators. It was evident that this senior Lin had hidden his cultivation level. Not only Mo Liming, but even Elder Qin of the Yuling Dao sect frowned as he looked at Lin Jing. After all, even he had not detected that Lin Jing was concealing his cultivation level. Either Lin Jing was exceptionally skilled in secret arts of concealment, or his cultivation was higher than his own. Perhaps he had even reached the divinity transformation stage. At this thought, Elder Qin's frown deepened. However, as a member of the Yuling Dao sect, even if the other party was indeed a divine transformation cultivator, he would not be afraid. "Senior Lin, when riding the cross-realm transmission formation, every person will produce different spiritual power fluctuations based on their own cultivation level. there's really no need to conceal one's cultivation. Lin Jing then spoke. I simply dislike such hassle, so I concealed it. As Lin Jing spoke, he no longer hid his power, but directly stopped running the Qingqing hidden technique, revealing his cultivation level aura. Suddenly, the aura of the 7th layer of nascent soul burst forth from Lin Jing. The moment this aura erupted, Nanming and the other two retreated several steps with a thump thump thump. Especially Nanming, who had just provocatively challenged Lin Jing, now found himself sweating profusely. Although he was a disciple of the Yuling Dao sect, he dared not provoke a nascent soul cultivator. After all, that was a nascent soul cultivator. If he truly angered the other party, killing him would be as easy as flipping his hand. Even if the sect avenged his death afterward, he would already be dead, which would be no help at all. In contrast, when Elder Qin saw that Lin Jing was only at the 7th layer of nascent soul, he immediately breathed a sigh of relief. A nascent soul cultivator, they were on the same level, and moreover, his own cultivation was a bit higher than Lin Jing's. Thus, Elder Qin was no longer worried. Following that, Elder Qin directly addressed Nanming. Liming, your words earlier were indeed inappropriate. Apologize to Senior Lin, and let's consider this matter settled. Nanming, realizing that Elder Qin was covering for him, quickly lowered his stance and told Lin Jing, Senior Lin, I apologize, I was too impulsive just now, inadvertently offending you. I hope you can forgive me. After Nanming finished speaking, Elder Qin also added, Lin Daoyu, is it? Since you two are a nascent soul cultivator, we were wrong about the earlier matter, and we hope Lin Daoyu will not take offense. Additionally, as for your spirit beast, it truly is extraordinary, and we indeed admire it. We hope Daoyu will be willing to part with it, and our Yuling Dao sect will certainly make it worth your while. Yuling Dao sect was a sect that specialized in taming various demonic beasts to assist in combat. Within the sect, there was a spirit manual created by the founding master of the sect. Empowered by this spirit manual, Yuling Dao sect quickly rose to prominence in the Western Demon region and became one of the top sects there. That was why they were so interested in Little Sparrow. The reason was that Little Sparrow was one of those rare demonic beasts with awakened spiritual intelligence. A beast with awakened intelligence could no longer be called a demonic beast. It was known as a spirit beast. Such spirit beasts were in perfect harmony with the spirit manual, a priority for the Yuling Dao sect, and could even be cultivated as personal life-bound spirit beasts. If one could form a life-bound contract with such a beast, not only could it greatly increase one's strength, but it would also be immensely beneficial for one's cultivation. That was why Elder Qin had tried repeatedly to obtain Little Sparrow. However, Lin Jing would definitely not sell Little Sparrow. Not to mention, Little Sparrow was originally Huang Qingling's pet, and over time, having spent so long with Little Sparrow, they had already come to regard it as part of their family. Naturally, they wouldn't consider selling it. No sooner had Elder Qin finished speaking than Lin Jing directly responded, Sorry, we're not going to sell this black kite under any circumstances. After hearing this, Elder Qin's brows furrowed slightly, but he said nothing further and instead gazed at Little Sparrow in Lin Ju's arms, as if in deep thought. Just now, he had even invoked the name of the Yuling Dao sect, but to no avail, which put a slight stain on his face. However, he could not afford to trifle with Lin Jing due to the difference in their cultivation. If he tried to forcefully take it, and the matter escalated to involve the sect, he probably couldn't bear the consequences. For a moment, Elder Qin found himself in a quandary. He genuinely wanted that spirit beast. Even if he didn't use it himself, he could gift it to others. Now, Nanming's brother, Qingqing, was about to be united in cultivation with Jie of the Xinghua elixir sect, so he could gift the spirit beast as a congratulatory present to them. Spirit beasts like this were rare finds. It would definitely make the vice sect master see him in a new light. By offering the spirit beast and winning face for him, he would surely not treat him unfairly. However, faced with Lin Jing's firm stance, Elder Qin didn't know what to do. Even though Elder Qin did not speak, M.O. Liming butted in at this moment. Senior, I am M.O. Liming from Yuling Dao sect. My brother is the top genius of Yuling Dao sect, M.O. Qingqing. I don't know if you've heard of him. As long as you're willing to part with this spirit beast for my brother, name any condition, and my brother will try to meet it to his utmost capability. M.O. Liming still hadn't given up and brought up his brother at this time, which made Lin Jing both angry and amused. Not to mention Lin Jing didn't even know his brother. Even if he did, so what? However, before Lin Jing could react, Ji Ling took the initiative to interrupt M.O. Liming. Tisk tsk tisk. What did I say? It didn't take long, and here you are, bringing up your brother again. Are you going to say? At this point, Ji Ling puffed out his chest, and in a tone mimicking M.O. Liming, he said, My brother M.O. Qingqing has the potential of an immortal king. The imitation was uncanny and dripping with mockery. Upon hearing Ji Ling's mimicry, Lin Ju almost burst out laughing. The expression on Elder Qin's face also immediately cooled. Realizing the situation was turning awkward, Lin Ju quickly covered her mouth to prevent herself from laughing out loud. Lin Jing, after hearing this, twitched at the corner of his mouth. He hadn't realized before just how venomous Ji Ling's tongue could be. It must be because of Ji Xie. A few days ago on Spirit Rock Island, Ji Ling had not had the chance to show off his skill before Ji Xie blew his confidence. Afterward, he became much more subdued. Indeed, there is always something to bring down even the mightiest. Ji Xie must be Ji Ling's natural bane. You? Being ridiculed by Ji Ling. M.O. Liming was so enraged he pointed at Ji Ling, his hand shaking, evidently very upset. Meanwhile, Ji Ling seemed triumphant, as if he had won a great victory, looking quite smug. Then Ji Ling spoke again to M.O. Liming. Just to let you know, Senior Lin is a friend of my aunt, and she too is very fond of this pet. Not to mention you, even if your brother were here, it would still be impossible to give it to you. Hearing Ji Ling's words, the already aggravated M.O. Liming deflated instantly. Elder Qin also suddenly changed his approach. It seems this pet is admired by Miss Ji Xie. We were indeed thoughtless. Indeed, agreed M.O. Liming, smiling as he spoke. Since it's a creature your aunt fancies, naturally, we will not compete for it. M.O. Liming's unexpected graciousness left Ji Ling completely perplexed. Due to their sex close relations, Ji Ling and M.O. Liming had known each other for a long time. Their rivalry also spanned many years and was not easily resolved. They were accustomed to this status quo, either engaging in competitions or verbal sparring. But now, M.O. Liming's unexpected attitude was surprisingly amicable. Not to mention, Ji Ling had deliberately mocked him, yet M.O. Liming managed to hold back. His behavior left Ji Ling baffled. Did you take the wrong elixir medicine today? Your temper is so good. And what did you mean by in-laws just now? Ji Ling asked suspiciously as he looked at M.O. Liming. However, M.O. Liming did not directly answer, but instead curled the corners of his mouth into a mysterious smile and said, This, you'll find out when the time comes. All right, don't you have other matters to attend to? Go handle them and don't delay any further. Elder Qin interrupted M.O. Liming before he could continue. He truly feared that if M.O. Liming kept bragging, he would spill the beans. If because of this the two of them started quarreling again, it could indeed have a negative impact. M.O. Liming also understood the reasoning and thus turned to face Elder Qin. Elder Qin is right. After speaking, M.O. Liming and his group no longer paid Ji Ling any attention and walked towards the formation. Once the group stepped into the formation, Elder Qin looked at Lin Jing and then spoke. Lin Daoyu, are you planning to use the teleportation array? If you are, please step directly into the center of the formation now. Don't worry, as friends of Fairy Xie, you will not be charged any fee. The attitude of Elder Qin had changed drastically from before because Lin Jing was a friend of Ji Xie. Lin Jing spoke directly. No need. Without cause, Lin Jing naturally would not accept their favor. At this moment, Ji Ling also spoke. Predecessor Lin, if it's not too much trouble, could you please wait a bit longer before going to Nanming Domain? My aunt is currently in Bihai City, discussing important matters with Elder Qi of our Xinglua elixir sect, and she will probably be here soon. After hearing this, Lin Jing nodded his head. Then Lin Jing and his group, along with Ji Ling, stepped down from the teleportation array platform. After the group stepped off the platform, Elder Qin activated the teleportation array. Next, a beam of light shot towards the sky, incredibly bright, piercing directly into the clouds. Inside the beam of light were Nanming and the other two. As the formation patterns of the teleportation array grew brighter, the light from the beam became more dazzling. A strange power rose from within the teleportation array, dispersing the clouds in the sky. Nanming and his group were being pulled by the teleporting force, ascending into the air. Just as they were about to teleport away, Nanming suddenly spoke to Ji Ling. Farewell. The last 3 words made no sound. Only his lips moved. Ji Ling similarly did not hear and shouted at Nanming. What did you say? However, before Nanming could reply, a blinding light flared up, and once the light faded, Nanming and his group had disappeared within the teleportation array, and the teleportation array returned to its calm state. Is that guy's brain kicked by a donkey? What's with the weird behavior today? Ji Ling muttered to himself. It seemed Ji Ling still knew nothing. Of course, although Nanming didn't make a sound just now, Lin Jing understood what he was saying by reading his lips. The last 3 words, if Lin Jing was not mistaken, should be little nephew. If Ji Xie indeed became Dao companions with Nanming's brother, Qingqing, then Ji Ling, being Ji Xie's nephew, would indeed be a generation lower than Nanming. In such a case, Nanming really wasn't wrong in his address. For Nanming, having the upper hand over his rival by a whole generation was indeed extremely satisfying. But for Ji Ling, it was not so pleasant. Apart from Lin Jing, Lin Ju probably also understood Nanming's last 3 words, just like Lin Jing did. Because Lin Ju was trying to stifle her laughter. Ji Ling noticed Lin Ju's unusual behavior and quickly asked, Lin Ju, what are you laughing at? Could it be that you know what Nanming meant just now? Lin Ju nodded and then shook her head. More or less. I don't quite understand it either. This ambiguous reply left Ji Ling with a full face of black lines. However, this was not a matter they could explain to Ji Ling since it involved 2 major sects. They believed the news wouldn't be kept secret for too long and estimated that it wouldn't be long before he found out. They didn't wait too long in the square before Ji Xie came over with a cold face. Accompanying Ji Xie was a black-robed elder with a nascent soul stage cultivation. When Ji Xie arrived at the square and saw Lin Jing, she was first taken aback. Then her expression softened a lot. Lin Daoyu, are you heading to the Nanming domain? Lin Jing nodded and then said, Yes. We were just about to leave when we encountered Ji Ling. Ji Ling said you were also here, so we didn't rush to teleport and waited for you to return. Ji Xie nodded gently and then spoke. I came out from the Nanming domain this time intending to find you, but then I suddenly learned of another matter that forced me to return to the Nanming domain first. Since you're also going back to the Nanming domain, that's perfect. Let's go together. Lin Jing nodded and said, All right. Just as the two finished speaking, Ji Ling approached and said, Auntie, your complexion didn't look good just now. Is something wrong? However, Ji Xie replied coldly to Ji Ling, It's none of your business. After speaking, Ji Xie looked directly at Ji Ling with a sharp gaze, exuding a sense of oppression. Did you act recklessly this time and offend Lin Daoyu? Ji Ling waved his hands hastily. Auntie, since the last time you reprimanded me, this time I really didn't. If you don't believe me, ask Senior Lin. Ji Xie just looked at Ji Ling, a look that made him uneasy at the bottom of his heart. And after a while, Ji Xie finally nodded gently and said, I believe you. Having said that, Ji Xie pointed to the man in black and introduced him to Lin Jing. This is Elder Qi of our Xinghua elixir sect. He is in charge of managing this teleportation array on normal days. After introducing Lin Jing, Jixia then addressed the man in black. Elder Qi, this is Lin Daoyu, whom we met not long ago on Spirit Rock Island, and he is also a 5th-grade alchemist. Elder Qi looked at Lin Jing and, smiling, said, "To warrant Miss Ji taking the initiative to make an acquaintance, I suppose Lin Daoyu's prowess in the alchemy Dao must be quite extraordinary." Lin Jing hurriedly said, "Elder Qi is overpraising me. In terms of alchemy Dao, how can I compare with the Xinghua elixir sect?" After hearing this, Elder Qi stroked his jaw's beard, chuckled twice, and then said, "Lin Daoyu, you are much too modest. I trust Miss Ji's judgment. The people she befriends are definitely not mistaken." Having said that, Elder Qi laughed heartily. "Ha! Well, let's not talk about this. Lin Daoyu, you're going to Nanming domain, aren't you? I will administer the formation for you." Upon hearing this, Lin Jing clasped his fists and said, "In that case, I am greatly thankful to Elder Qi." Following that, under Elder Qi's guidance, everyone headed toward the teleportation array platform once again. Before they even mounted the platform, Elder Qi came to greet them. "Elder Qi, Fairy Jixia." Facing Elder Qi's greeting, Jixia's face remained cold, and she did not say a word. Elder Qi glanced at Jixia and then spoke to Elder Qi. "Elder Qi, these are all guests of our Xinghua elixir sect and need to use the teleportation array." Facing Jixia's demeanor, Elder Qi did not get angry, but rather smiled and said sweetly, "Of course, that's not a problem. Please, Elder Qi, proceed at your convenience." Elder Qi replied, "Many thanks to you, Elder Qi." Finishing his words, he arranged for Jixia and others, including Lin Jing, to step into the teleportation array. After arranging everything, Elder Qi and Elder Qi stepped aside. Then, Elder Qi began to manipulate the formation for teleportation. As the formation pattern of the teleportation array lit up, the column of light shooting into the sky appeared once again. This time, within the teleportation array, Lin Jing vividly felt the spatial tearing force contained therein. As Elder Qi continued his manipulation, the array's column of light grew brighter, and Lin Jing and the others were lifted by the force of space into midair. Finally, with a hum sound, the formation suddenly lit up, and the spatial tearing intensified, and Lin Jing, along with the others, vanished from their original spot as the intense light dissipated. Nanming Domain, Seawatch City. Seawatch City, located at the northernmost edge of the Nanming Domain, takes its name from its proximity to the demonic monster sea. In the beginning, Seawatch City was just an unremarkable small city. Although it was near the demonic monster sea and not short of resources, its close proximity to the seaside meant that demonic beasts from the sea often came ashore, launching attacks on the city. Therefore, there weren't many cultivators in Seawatch City, and it didn't develop much. That changed when the Howling Sky Wolf clan launched their attacks, wreaking havoc across the region to varying degrees. Especially the Immortal cities close to the demon race secret realm, which were completely occupied by the Howling Sky Wolf clan. However, due to its unique geographical location, Seawatch City managed to escape this round of assaults. And after this incident had passed, many cultivators within the Nanming domain wanted to flee outward to avoid the disaster brought about by the Howling Sky Wolf clan. But after the cataclysm that occurred 1,000,000 years ago, most areas of the Nanming domain had become the barren Forbidden Zone. Within the entire barren Forbidden Zone, no creature could survive due to the special forces left by the disaster, and most of the remaining regions were occupied by the Howling Sky Wolf clan. Therefore, these cultivators of the Nanming domain could only escape to the north, entering the demonic monster sea. And in doing so, Seawatch City became the necessary path to take, which is why more and more cultivators were entering it. Among these people, a portion did not linger for long in Seawatch City after entering, and after a short rest, set off and plunged directly into the demonic monster sea. Others decided not to leave and chose to stay in Sea-Watch City first, to wait and see the situation. Thus, as more people stayed, Sea-Watch City kept expanding and quickly became one of the largest cities in the entire Nanming domain. Eventually, the three great sects sought aid from the Western Demon region, and shortly after the arrival of the representatives from the Western Demon region, they decided to establish a cross-realm transmission formation connecting the two domains. The chosen location for this cross-realm transmission formation was in Sea-Watch City. Like Beihai City, the position of the cross-realm transmission formation was also above a vast square, and the square was likewise bustling with excitement. Just then, the transmission formation suddenly lit up, and a white pillar of light shot up into the sky. Such a phenomenon indicated that someone had come to the Nanming domain through the transmission formation. Many people on the plaza couldn't help turning their heads towards the direction of the transmission formation. Among these onlookers were many merchants and members of various business associations. Newcomers also meant new opportunities to earn spirit stones, which naturally piqued their interest. As the transmission light faded, 8 people and a beast companion, a black kite, appeared on the transmission formation. The group that had just arrived was none other than Lin Jing and his companions. After the light of the transmission dissipated, the group stepped out from the center of the formation, and immediately, a middle-aged man, who was guarding the formation's entrance, approached them. This middle-aged man clearly recognized Ji Xie and Ji Ling, and was puzzled by their sudden return. So he asked, "Elder Ji, didn't you go to Beihai City? How come you're back so soon?" Ji Xie then replied, "We encountered some issues on the way and decided to come back early." After speaking, Ji Xie turned to Lin Jing and said, "Lin Daoyu, I have some urgent matters to attend to now, so I won't be able to accompany you. Where will you be headed? I'll come to find you once my business is settled." Lin Jing nodded and replied, "If Ji Daoyu is looking for us, head to Nanshan, Immortal City. We'll probably be there." "All right, I'll remember that." Ji Xie nodded, bid farewell to Lin Jing and the middle-aged man, and hurriedly left with Ji Ling. Lin Jing had his suspicions about Ji Xie's haste. It was likely related to the engagement issue mentioned previously by Mo Liming of Yuling Dao sect and Elder Qin at the transmission formation in Beihai City. Lin Jing speculated that Ji Xie must have found out about the matter, which was why she was in such a rush. After Ji Xie's departure, Lin Jing and the others also stepped down for the transmission formation platform and headed towards the plaza. As they descended for the transmission platform, they were immediately approached by someone. "Esteemed seniors, I presume this is the seniors' first time in the Nanming domain. Do you need any assistance or directions to a certain place? I can guide you and provide introductions. If seniors need to travel to other immortal cities, I also have maps and introduction pamphlets available here." Lin Ju spoke up directly in response to the crowd that had gathered around them. No need. We're going to our own home. No introductions required." The person hesitated for a moment, then apologized. "Sorry, seniors." He then backed away. Once that person had left, another cultivator, this time dressed in a gray robe, approached. This gray-robed cultivator was also a golden core immortal. After arriving, the gray-robed cultivator clasped his fists in greeting to Lin Jing and his companions. He then addressed Lin Ju and said, "Daoyu, I heard you mention that you and your companions are originally from the Nanming domain. I suppose you have been away for many years and haven't returned for a long time, right?" His eyes were not large, and he sported a pair of thin mustaches, giving off a very shrewd impression. Lin Ju looked at the man in front of him with curiosity and asked, "How do you know that?" The gray-robed cultivator replied, "I am a member of the Heavenly Secrets Association, and we have been stationed here ever since the teleportation array was established. With the cultivation levels of friends like you, if you ever appeared, our Heavenly Secrets Association would certainly be aware. Thus, it seems that this must be your first time returning to the Nanming domain." As the words of the gray-robed cultivator fell, he continued, "Dear friends, please allow me to introduce our Heavenly Secrets Association first. Our association specializes in providing all sorts of news and intelligence. We can offer information about various powers, secret realms, and treasures for friends like you. Whatever you need, we have intelligence on every power. Even if you want to find someone, our Heavenly Secrets Association can take on the task. Really? Lin Jing asked skeptically. Going by what you're saying, can you also procure information about the Xinglua elixir sect and the Yuling Dao sect? The gray-robed cultivator nodded and said, Of course. Our Heavenly Secrets Association is actually a power from the Western Demon region, so naturally, we are quite familiar with both sects. However, if you want information on the two major sects, naturally the required spirit stones will be significantly higher. May I ask if you are interested? Having said that, the gray-robed cultivator looked at Lin Jing and the others with great interest, especially at Lin Jing, who had been conversing with him. However, Lin Jing shook his head and directly spoke. Not needed. Why would we need information on the two major sects? It's more important for us to return home now. After finishing, Lin Jing turned his head, leaving the gray-robed cultivator hanging, and then said to Lin Jing, Brother, let's go. I haven't seen Sister Qingqing for so long. I miss her. Lin Jing nodded and said, All right, let's head back to Nanshan, Immortal City. However, just as Lin Jing finished speaking, the gray-robed cultivator suddenly interjected. Nanshan, Immortal City? Are you referring to Li Qingqing, the current head of the Leaf family from Nanshan, Immortal City that you just mentioned? If so, I'm afraid you'll really need to buy some information from me. Hearing this, Lin Jing immediately turned his head to look at the gray-robed cultivator. Lin Jing also hurriedly asked, What do you mean? Has something happened to my sister Qingqing? Speak quickly. The gray-robed cultivator promptly said, The Li family of Nanshan Immortal City has run into conflict with the Yun family, and it has been quite a while. I happen to have some information about it. Would you like to buy it? Yes. Of course we'll need it. How many spirit stones? Name your price, Lin Jing eagerly said. Seeing their reaction, the gray-robed cultivator said with a smile, The conflict between the two families, speaking of which, is quite straightforward. If you want to know the details of this matter, it will only cost 100 medium-grade spirit stones. But if you also want to know some of the secrets behind this incident that are not known to the public, that will require 1,000 medium-grade spirit stones. After stating the price, the gray-robed cultivator took the time to add, Dear friends, rest assured, this price is set by our Heavenly Secret Association and is absolutely fair and honest for both old and young. Even if it were 1,000 medium-grade spirit stones, to Lin Jing now, it was but a drop in the ocean. Lin Jing wasted no words, directly taking out a small storage bag used for trading from a space ring and tossing it to the gray-robed cultivator. Here are 1,000 medium-grade spirit stones. Now, can you talk? The gray-robed cultivator received the storage bag and immediately sent his divine sense into it to start counting. Moments later, after counting the spirit stones, the gray-robed cultivator stowed the storage bag away and then smiled at Lin Jing. Friend, this place is crowded. Let's find a quiet spot where I can tell you the secret. Lin Jing simply replied, No need. Finishing his sentence, Lin Jing reached out his hand, using his spiritual power to create a barrier that enveloped everyone inside. This shield can even block the detection of a nascent soul cultivator's divine sense. You can speak now. After witnessing Lin Jing casually create this shield and listening to his words, the gray-robed cultivator was startled and then spoke, tentatively asking, Senior, are you a nascent soul cultivator? As soon as Lin Jing had arrived via the teleportation, he had concealed his cultivation level, so the gray-robed cultivator was unaware of Lin Jing's actual level. It wasn't until Lin Jing deployed the spiritual power shield that he realized Lin Jing must be a nascent soul cultivator. Lin Jing nodded and then said, You can speak now. Why did the Li family come into conflict with the Yun family? Senior, it's like this. The gray-robed cultivator didn't hesitate and started to recount the story. And Lin Jing and his companions listened intently. The whole affair, to put it simply, was straightforward. Previously, Due to issues with the Howling Sky Wolf clan, various families suffered heavy losses and withdrew from Nanshan Immortal City. The entire Nanshan Immortal City was then occupied by the Howling Sky Wolf clan. Latter, the three big sects sought help, and the Western Demon region sent reinforcements to repel the Howling Sky Wolf clan, driving them back to the demon race secret realm. With the withdrawal of the Howling Sky Wolf clan, Nanshan Immortal City was naturally recaptured and returned to the hands of the human cultivators. The families that had occupied Nanshan Immortal City before also came back. Even during the worst of the Howling Sky Wolf clan's rampage, the Yun family, backed by the Nanming Immortal sect, had never left the Nanming domain. So, as soon as Nanshan Immortal City was recaptured, the Yun family returned immediately and seized many places. This naturally included what used to be the Li family's old mansion, as well as many of the Li family's external properties and spirit fields. Li Qingqing returned somewhat later. By the time Li Qingqing returned, the previous properties of the Li family had already been occupied by other families. Li Qingqing came back to restore the Li family and naturally wanted to reclaim all that was lost. It was then that conflicts with the Yun family began to emerge. And now, the conflict had escalated to such a severe extent. There were even rumors within the Yun family that the former young master Yun Long intended to forcefully take the current head of the Li family, Li Qingqing, as his concubine, coveting both the Li family's properties and the legacy of their alchemy techniques. When Lin Jing heard this from the gray-robed cultivator, rage surged within him. That shameless Yun Long, he actually dares to covet my sister Qingqing. Not just Lin Jing, even Yi Yun couldn't help wanting to find trouble with Yun Long immediately. After all, in their minds, Li Qingqing could even be said to already be the sister-in-law and master's wife they had internally agreed upon. How could they allow others to insult her? But Lin Jing, on the contrary, wasn't angry, but instead thought carefully about the whole matter. Because Lin Jing knew that, even if the old patriarch of the Li family wasn't around, the Li family still had connections with the Qingyuan sword sect. At the very least, Lin Jing had heard from Li Qingqing before that Elder Wang, who had a good relationship with the old Li family, was doing fine. And he also took good care of Li Qingqing. With him around, it was impossible for Li Qingqing to suffer such humiliation. Yet no news had emerged so far, which clearly indicated that there was more to the situation than met the eye. Lin Jing then spoke, asking the gray-robed cultivator, "What is the current strength of a Yun family?" The gray-robed cultivator replied, "The Yun family's ancestor was fortunate to make a breakthrough to the golden core, becoming a nascent soul, true monarch. Apart from the Yun family's ancestor, there are 3 golden core immortals in total within the Yun family. That Yun family's young master Yun Long is currently one of these 3 golden cores." After the gray-robed cultivator finished speaking, he then asked Lin Jing, "Senior, you must be acquainted with the Li family, and coming to the Nanshan market this time, you certainly plan to lend a hand to the Li family, right?" Lin Jing nodded. There was nothing to hide about this. Coming across this situation, Lin Jing would definitely take action. And Lin Jing even spoke directly. "Of course, Sister Qingqing can only be my brother's. That Yun Long thinking of taking Sister Qingqing as a concubine is simply seeking death." After hearing this, the gray-robed cultivator was dumbfounded. He didn't expect to stumble upon such explosive news that Li Qingqing, the head of a Li family, was the Tao companion of the nascent soul, true monarch before him. Hearing Lin Jing speak so, Lin Jing only glanced at Lin Jing, but didn't refute. And the gray-robed cultivator, having realized the implications, quickly spoke up. "Senior, since you intend to help the Li family, I must give you a warning. This matter, it seems like it's just between the Yun family and the Li family. However, our Heavenly Secret Association has already gathered intelligence that the Nanming Immortal sect may also be involved in the background." Nanming Immortal sect. Lin Jing furrowed his brow and repeated the phrase. The gray-robed cultivator nodded and said, "It must be one of the nascent soul stage elders from Nanming Immortal sect trying to seize the Li family's alchemy inheritance. However, Whether others from the Nanming Immortal sect are involved, we at the Heavenly Secret Association have not been able to ascertain any definitive information. Especially the stance of that divinity transformation ancestor from the Nanming Immortal sect. Whether they support it or ignore it, we're not quite clear. If this information were confirmed, it would be worth at least 10,000 medium-grade spirit stones, given it relates to that divinity transformation ancestor of the Nanming Immortal sect. Since it's unconfirmed, consider it a bonus for you, Senior. After hearing this, Lin Jing fell into deep contemplation for a moment. Afterwards, Lin Jing continued to inquire, "Is there anything else?" The gray-robed cultivator then spoke. "There isn't much else. Just that if Senior intends to help the Leaf family, just be cautious, especially watch out for that divinity transformation ancestor from the Nanming Immortal sect. If that divinity transformation ancestor from the Nanming Immortal sect decides to take a supportive stance on this matter, then Senior needs to be even more vigilant." After hearing this, Lin Jing nodded and then said, "All right, I understand." Upon finishing, Lin Jing waved his hand, dissipating the protective barrier. "With that, I'll take my leave." The gray-robed cultivator then clasped his hands towards Lin Jing and his companions to bid farewell, showing no special treatment toward Lin Jing nor revealing his identity. After saying goodbye, the gray-robed cultivator turned around and left the area. Once the gray-robed cultivator had departed, Lin Ju wore a worried frown and turned to ask Lin Jing, "Brother, what should we do now? How are we going to help Sister Qingqing?" After some thought, Lin Jing replied, "We'll go to Nanshan Immortal City first and see Qingqing before deciding." Having said that, Lin Jing led the group out of the city. Not far from Seawatch City, Lin Jing summoned the Shadow Escape flying boat, and they boarded it. Next, Lin Jing controlled the flying boat, and with a whoosh they shot forth. The flying boat sped through the skies over the Nanming domain, while inside, the groups sat opposite each other. At this moment, Lin Ju was still wearing a worried frown, with one hand supporting his cheek and his head lowered in contemplation. Yiyun was also frowning, sitting next to Lin Ju. Wei Zhongqing and Yin Xiong, seeing this situation, felt it inappropriate to speak up and to stir the others. For a while, the atmosphere inside the flying boat was rather tense. Just then, Lin Jing raised his head and asked Wei Zhongqing, "Brother Wei, are you coming with me to Nanshan Immortal City, or will you head back to Lincian City?" Upon hearing this, Wei Jingqing pondered for a moment, glanced at Wei Xiu, then replied, "We'll head to Nanshan Immortal City. We won't return to Lincian City for now." Lin Jing nodded in response to Wei Jingqing. Meanwhile, Yin Xiong opened his mouth as if he wanted to say something, but ultimately chose not to speak. Lincian City was where the Ning family resided. It seemed Wei Jingqing still hadn't decided how to face Ningyu. After the conversation, the flying boat once again fell into silence. Nanshan Immortal City, which had not been established for very long, had quickly gathered many cultivators and became exceedingly prosperous because of its proximity to the demon race secret realm. Later, due to the Howling Sky Wolf Clan incident, Nanshan Immortal City, as the closest human city to the demon race secret realm, naturally bore the brunt of the Howling Sky Wolf Clan's attack. The outcome was self-evident. The powerful Howling Sky Wolf Clan overwhelmed the city. The cultivators of Nanshan Immortal City couldn't hold out for long before they were defeated and scattered in flight. The entire Nanshan Immortal City was completely occupied by the Howling Sky Wolf Clan. Only after reinforcements from the Western Demon region arrived did the Howling Sky Wolf Clan retreat, and Nanshan Immortal City was then recaptured. By then, Nanshan Immortal City had suffered deliberate destruction by the Howling Sky Wolf Clan and was in ruins. Consequently, after being recaptured, Nanshan Immortal City immediately began reconstruction. The city rebuilt after the reconstruction was grander than before. But for Lin Jing, Nanshan Immortal City had also become much more alien. Upon arrival at Nanshan Immortal City and seeing the newly reconstructed city, they couldn't help but be momentarily startled. If not for the words, Nanshan Immortal City carved on the towering city gates. And the familiar surroundings, Lin Jing would have even doubted if they had taken the wrong path. Approaching Nanshan Immortal City, Lin Jing retracted the flying boat and the group, along the broad road in front of the city, headed into the city together. Without the threat of the Howling Sky Wolf clan, there were still many people in Nanshan Immortal City. Though not as bustling as before the Howling Sky Wolf clan's arrival, it was nearly back to its former state. On this broad road, aside from Lin Jing's group, there were also other people heading toward Nanshan Immortal City. These people had various expressions, but none had high cultivation. Aside from Lin Jing's group, there wasn't even a single golden core. Walking on this road, Lin Jing's group, although not revealing their cultivation, did not deliberately hide their aura either. It was clear to anyone that Lin Jing's group was not to be tri-filed with. Thus, the people all consciously or unconsciously avoided them. Upon reaching the entrance to Nanshan Immortal City, there were 2 squads of guards stationed there. All these guards were of the Foundation establishment stage. The newly reconstructed Nanshan Immortal City appeared to be managed more strictly. As Lin Jing approached, perhaps due to sensing the presence of Lin Jing and his companions, a white-robed youth quickly emerged from within the city. And this white-robed youth was also a golden core cultivator. As the youth came out, he directly looked towards Lin Jing and the others, then quickly walked over to them. Arriving before Lin Jing and his companions, the white-robed youth first gave a fist-in-palm salute, then spoke. "It seems I've never seen you fellows before. Is this your first time in Nanshan Immortal City?" With that, he turned his gaze to Lin Jing, examining him carefully. It was clear that among the group before him, Lin Jing was the leader, so naturally, he began by questioning Lin Jing. Lin Jing then spoke. "In a sense, yes and no. I once stayed here for a while, but later left due to certain circumstances. This might be considered my first return since the reconstruction. Turns out you are fellow cultivators from the Nanming domain. My apologies," said the white-robed youth. After finishing, he continued, "Since this is your first time here, we need to verify identities before entering the city. I hope you cultivators won't mind." After saying this, the white-robed youth went on to explain to Lin Jing and the others. "Although we have driven off the Howling Sky Wolf clan, there might still be some that eluded capture and are hiding in the dense forests and mountains. These stragglers are very unruly, often disguising themselves to sneak into the city and cause trouble. To prevent these stragglers from causing chaos in our city, even golden core immortals like yourselves must verify your identities before entering." After hearing this, Lin Jing pondered for a moment and then nodded, saying, "Understood. How should we go about verifying our identities?" "Please follow me, fellow cultivators," said the white-robed youth as he led them into the city. Passing through the city gate, and under the guidance of the white-robed youth, they entered a courtyard. The courtyard was not large, housing only a single room, and as they entered, they were greeted by a massive silver mirror-like magical treasure. On either side of this magical treasure stood 2 golden core cultivators. The white-robed youth then spoke, introducing the item to Lin Jing and his companions. This magical treasure is known as the Breaking Delusion Mirror, capable of breaking through all disguises. Any demon cultivator attempting to infiltrate Nanshan Immortal City will not escape the scrutiny of this mirror. Please wait a moment. As long as you pass the inspection of the Breaking Delusion Mirror, you will be free to enter the city." Lin Jing, upon hearing this, immediately examined the Breaking Delusion Mirror with great interest. This mirror, of unknown material, was entirely silver, and its grade had surpassed that of a magical treasure. It was a low-grade Dao tool. Looking at the Breaking Delusion Mirror, Lin Jing contemplated and then turned to ask the white-robed youth, "Can this Breaking Delusion Mirror truly thwart any disguise? Does it have the ability to break through the disguises of cultivators?" The white-robed youth nodded and responded, "Naturally it can. The Breaking Delusion Mirror is a Dao tool-level magical treasure. It can break through the disguises of not just golden core cultivators, but even divine transformation cultivators. Lin Jing nodded at these words. Then, Lin Jing directly said to the white-robed youth, "We are ready, you can start now." Although he said this, Lin Jing did not reveal his true cultivation level, but continued to channel the Qingqing hidden technique, keeping his cultivation disguised at the golden core stage. He wanted to see for himself just how formidable the breaking delusion mirror truly was. The others, too, after giving Lin Jing a look, turned their heads away without saying anything. Clearly, they understood Lin Jing's intent. "Very well. If you would wait just a moment, fellow cultivators." After the white-robed youth had finished speaking, he went before the breaking delusion mirror to speak with one of the cultivators there. Once he had delivered his instructions, the cultivators on either side of the mirror began to act. Both of them formed hand seals, sketching peculiar runes in midair, which slowly were drawn into the breaking delusion mirror. As the runes merged into it, the breaking delusion mirror emitted a beam of light, shining directly onto Lin Jing and his companions. When the light from the mirror illuminated Lin Jing, the spiritual power within him instantly began to churn uncontrollably, trying to circulate on its own. But the Qingqing hidden technique was in operation within Lin Jing's body, and just as the spiritual power began to surge, it was suppressed. And that wasn't all. Under the illumination of the breaking delusion mirror, the Qingqing hidden technique began to operate more quickly, suppressing Lin Jing's internal spiritual power while also allocating a portion of its energy to resist the beam emitted by the mirror. Under the light of the breaking delusion mirror, the cultivation levels of several individuals were immediately revealed, including Lin Jing's disguised cultivation level. Everything seemed incredibly normal. A moment later, the two cultivators once again formed hand seals, and the beam of light emitted from the breaking delusion mirror was subsequently withdrawn. Under the illumination of the breaking delusion mirror, there was no anomaly with Lin Jing and the others. Clearly, there were no issues with Lin Jing and his companions. Afterwards, the white-robed young man apologized to them again and then escorted them out of the courtyard. After leaving the courtyard, Lin Jing and his group parted ways with the white-robed young man. It wasn't until then that Lin Ju spoke up. That so-called breaking delusion mirror, they made it sound so grand. It still couldn't detect the cultivation you were hiding, brother. Lin Jing looked at Lin Ju and then replied, "You can't quite put it that way. The Qingqing hidden technique we practice is a secret concealment technique passed down for countless years by the Qingqing family. It's not something that could be easily exposed by the artifact like the breaking delusion mirror. Otherwise, the Qingqing family would have probably been exterminated long ago." After hearing this, Lin Ju nodded and said, "Now that you mention it, it does seem to be the case." Just then, Wei Qingqing spoke up. "Brother Lin, I once had a friend who was in Nanshan, Immortal City. I'm not sure if he's still here. I'd like to go and check on him first, and then I'll come to find you at the Li family after my visit." Lin Jing nodded and responded, "Okay, then you go ahead." After that, Wei Zhongqing, Yin Xiong, and the other three said their goodbyes to Lin Jing and his companions and left. After they had gone, Lin Jing continued toward the old residence of the Li family, accompanied by Lin Ju, Yi Yun, and Little Sparrow. Although the entire Nanshan Immortal City had been rebuilt and transformed significantly, the location of the Li family's place remained unchanged, and so, naturally, Lin Jing did not lose his way. In this manner, Lin Jing, along with Lin Ju and Yi Yun, walked through the streets of Nanshan Immortal City. The current Nanshan Immortal City no longer had a distinction between the inner and outer cities. They had all merged into one. And those lower-ranking cultivators who previously had only been able to reside in the outskirts had moved to several Fong markets around Nanshan Immortal City. As Lin Jing walked the streets of Nanshan Immortal City, he looked around at the new city, which had undergone substantial changes and was no longer the Nanshan Immortal City he knew. However, when Lin Jing reached the center of the city, he once again saw a familiar sign. Ubala. Ubala appeared even more magnificent than before. Its floors had increased from the former 7 to now 9. Lin Jing peered inside. Ubala was as before, with its spacious first-floor hall, rows of counters, and numerous beautiful maidservants bustling about to assist customers. Looking at Ubala, Lin Jing couldn't help but remember Elder Bai, and of course, Huang Qingqing. At this time, Little Sparrow flew over from Lin Ju's shoulder and landed on Lin Jing's shoulder. After Little Sparrow came over, it tilted its head and bumped Lin Jing before opening its mouth. "Find Qingqing." Lin Jing turned his head to look at Little Sparrow and then said, "Qingqing isn't here." Upon hearing this, Little Sparrow lowered its head. Clearly, it also knew that Qingqing was not there. Otherwise, it would have flown in already. Lin Jing then reached out and petted Little Sparrow, consoling it. "Wait. After a while, I'll take you to find Qingqing." Upon hearing this, Little Sparrow eagerly raised its head to look at Lin Jing and flapped its wings, saying, "Good. Find Qingqing." Lin Jing lingered at the entrance of Ubala for quite some time, but in the end he did not go in. After a while, Lin Jing shifted his gaze and continued in the direction of the Li family's location. Lin Ju and Yi Yun followed silently behind Lin Jing, without saying a word.